Good morning. Welcome to our branding and design, building your Give Miami Day design toolbox training. I am so excited to have you here. I see we already have about 40 something of you registered and signed up participants. We're gonna wait until we're about 50% of our registration list. As you're coming in, give us a shout out in the chat. Let us know where you're visiting from, like what nonprofit you're representing. We're gonna give everybody just a minute. Regis House, good morning. Overtown Optimist Club, hey Aisha. Okay, Parent to Parent of Miami. We got Hip Hip, I think I've seen you in every single training in here. Good job. Greater Miami Youth Symphony, History Miami Museum again. Cool, Coconut Grove Cares. Glory House of Miami, Betty, so good to see you. Hey, Salvation Army. We have a really awesome training. We have 75% participants right now. We're gonna wait a little bit more, give it another minute. American Lung Association of South Florida. Thank you, Kaylee, for coming. All right. The Women's Fund of Miami-Dade. I am a personal fan. Good morning. We're going to get started, and you all are going to have the pleasure of meeting our comms team today. I'm just super stoked to be sharing. I think this is by far one of my favorite offerings and trainings that we have for you all. Study Buddies of Miami. Good morning, Albert. We have an office hour later today on Friday. I'm excited to see you this week. If you haven't booked office hours, make sure you're taking advantage of those times with Chelsea and myself. We can help you strategize in your campaign. We can help answer questions about your registration application. Okay, it's 10:02. We're at 82. That's about, I think, a good time to get started. So let's jump right in. Again, this is the Branding and Design Building Your Give Miami Day Design Toolbox training. We brought this to you with partnership of our communications team at the Miami Foundation. So you'll be learning a lot of cool stuff on how to use the Give Miami Day brand and how to create really cool, compelling, and impactful designs on Canva. And now I would love to introduce you to our team for our communications department. And I think we can go to the next slide. Wonderful. So our Miami Foundation communications team is made up of these wonderful three amazing human beings. Nicky Zarchen is our communications and public affairs officer. Nikki is our energetic, bright smile, super creative comms person who can do it all. So I'm so excited for you all to hear from her. Jessica Cohen is our content manager. She speaks French and is also very grounding and very centering. So she really brings it all the way from all of her talents and is able to apply her PR skills and everything. So you guys are going to be hearing from her today. And we have Sam Baste, who is our newest team member, actually. She is our communications and engagement assistant, and she can help you with anything about social media and let you know where any veggie-friendly restaurants are located in Miami. And I'm going to pass it on to Nikki. I believe she's going to be jumping right in. We're going to get started, and I'll let you take the mic, Nikki.
Thank you so much, Ruth. Good morning, everyone. I am so excited to be here with Jess to impart our knowledge onto you so you can have a really successful Give Miami Day for our 10th anniversary. So I just wanted to let you all know before we get started, this is the comms team. Thank you for the intros, Ruth. Unfortunately, Sam's not with us today, but you can lean on her in the future. I'll let you know at the end of our presentation how you can get in contact with us. And this entire team is happy to help you as you execute anything communications related for your Give Miami Day campaign. And then also Jessica's on the line with me today, and we'll jump in. You all know what work from home entails. So if my internet goes out, she's ready to take over. And also, if you could please, if you have any questions throughout, please leverage the Q&A function in your Zoom chat. So there's two little bubbles hugging on the toolbar. You can click in there and ask a question. And because I'm sharing my screen, I won't be paying much attention to that, but Jess is going to be monitoring that. And we'll be sure to answer your question either throughout the presentation or at the end of the presentation as well. So the agenda for today, what did you sign up for when you're building your Give Miami Day toolbox? So we're going to learn how to follow the Give Miami Day branding guidelines. That's around how to use the logos for Give Miami Day, what the color palette is this year, and best practices to make sure it's looking clean and up to standards. We want to be sure us as a Miami whole are looking cohesive and beautiful together. How you find those Give Miami Day branding guidelines, if you want to check them out yourself, I would bookmark them as you look, as you learn. Is you go to the Give Miami Day website, which is givemiamiday.org. You go to nonprofits, you go to campaign resources, and you'll end up on this page. And then you can come down here, you can book an office hour with Chelsea or Ruth. Definitely do that just to hang out with them. No, just kidding. And you can also come down here and you can access a Google Drive folder. There are logos, the brand guidelines, as I was mentioning, some Zoom backgrounds like the ones you're seeing our entire team have here, plus a lot of other goodies that are really helpful as you design away for Give Miami Day this year. And the Google Drive folder is right here. You can go into this folder and you can find the branding guidelines. Definitely would check them out. Okay. Second thing that we're going to be learning today is how to create visually appealing and effective marketing graphics for your giving campaign. We know the importance of social media, e-blasts, all of that stuff in our campaigns to try and get donors to donate for us on Give Miami Day. And how you get more people and how you get more traction is by making visually appealing graphics for people to send you likes and to be intrigued to your organization. And so this training is all about how to make your graphics look good to bring more people into your campaign. And then thirdly, how we're going to do that is we're going to teach you all how to use Canva. As you see on my screen right now, this is what a Canva document looks like. These slides were made on Canva. We're huge Canva fans over at the Miami Foundation. That being said, Canva is not mandatory for you when you're designing for Give Miami Day. If you are adept at Photoshop or InDesign or some other program, go ahead and use it. Like they're awesome. There are so many different platforms that you can be using for graphic design. We are only suggesting Canva because it's free, very user-friendly, and very intuitive and helpful, and it's the thing that our team uses. And so we're going to simply use this as a platform for you to learn how to design, and you can go ahead and either use Canva yourself, or you can go and use what you learn in this session on another platform of your choosing. So I mentioned it in the instructions beforehand. It's okay if you didn't get to it. But I would highly suggest creating a free Canva account just to follow along and to learn about what we're talking about here. And what I'm basically going to take you through is two designs that I've already created beforehand. So we're going to start with, if you go to www.canva.com, it will take you to a screen. Sorry that my internet is loading like this. And you can look through, these are all of my previous designs. You're getting a little sneak peek of some of the things you'll see later or some things I'm working on. So these are the things that I've been working on in my Canva account. It's very easy to save Canva, look back at things. You can put them into folders for you to reference things. You can build brand kits, for example, for your own organization. So you can have your organization's colors. This will make more sense as I jump in, but it's very customizable and very personalizable to your organization and also to sub-brands within your organization as well. You can see what I typically do when I design, because I've been on Canva for a while, is that you can make copies of designs, especially when it's something that you already know you have the correct dimensions and it has designs that you like going forward. So we have a Give Miami Day Instagram design already. And so we will make a copy of that as we're building out new things, or we will just go into that document to keep building so that we have the correct dimensions and images inside those design documents. If you want to start from scratch and start new, you come up here and you click Create a Design. If it would cooperate with me, and you can create any, like the possibilities of what you can design are endless on Canva. It's really exciting. They have pre-done things for you. So if you want to create a post for Instagram, they have the dimensions already set for you, and you can click on this. It'll create a blank document for you. Same for Twitter, same for presentations, same for Zoom backgrounds, logos, on flyers, onward and onward. And so it's really helpful when you want to create a new design to start from here. So I went ahead and I got started on an Instagram post for to show you all how we go through these things. So this is what I created, a very simple yet straightforward, captivating Instagram post for you to share with your folks. This presentation is pretending that the Miami Foundation is fundraising on Give Miami Day, but you would obviously insert, instead of the Miami Foundation, your organization's logo and their name on this design. And so I'm going to walk you through, these are the things we're going to be learning on this slide. So we're going to learn what templates are, what colored elements are, adding text, adding logos, adding elements, flipping elements, positioning, fonts, locking, and text spacing and alignment. So say you have this design that you've already created beforehand, you can make a copy of this and duplicate it and create a new design using these elements that are already on your design. Or what I'm going to do right now is you can click new and you can click a blank design within this document. And as I said, it's very helpful if you can just work from Give Miami Day Instagram posts, and you can make all of your Instagram posts together in this one document. So to get us started, I'm going to teach us about templates. So we're not going to use the template today in this training, but I just want you all to know that Canva has a ton of great preloaded designs for you to use if you need some inspiration. So for example, you could search any fundraising and it would come up with a ton of different, right here are some, I actually already did that. They have some great designs that people in the past or their team has created for fundraising. And so you can click on this, you can change the colors, you can change the background, you can change the text and the font, and it's very helpful to build from if you're just needing a little spark or a design spark in your brain. So, and this is helpful for me to keep track. So we're going to check off templates there. Colored elements. So how did we get this? The colored box around here. Also, I see that there are questions coming in, and so I want to also be sure that I'm not. So the Give Miami Toolbox designs into Canva. Jess, do you know what they're referencing here?
I believe it's the logo and the colors. This is.
Gotcha, thank you. So the branding guidelines. So how you import images, I'll cover that in a second when I import the logos here, and also the colors I'm about to show you. But good question, thank you, Judith. So to create the colored box around this post, you go here to elements. Elements is a great friend that you'll use. You can search, like templates, they have anything imaginable. They have glitter, they have X's, they have photos for you to use for free. They have the party things here, those are elements. And so this element right here, I searched rectangle, and you click here, and there you go, popped it right onto your page. As Judith asked about the toolbox, importing the colors. So you'll go here. We have the preloaded colors already for Give Miami Day. Here we have the Miami Foundation colors of our organization. You can go in that homepage on Canva, and you can click on this brand tool, the brand kit, and there you can preload all of your organization's colors, and including sub-brands. So like the sub-brand for this is Give Miami Day. And so the color here, as we mentioned, that's on the branding guidelines. You can find all of this information in that PDF document in the Google Drive folder under campaign resources. Is this color code 792 EDF. If you have a different organizational color that you want to upload, you would click here. add a new color, and you would type in your hex code. If you don't know your hex code and someone else created your color codes for you, a graphic designer, they'll know what you're talking about if you go to them and ask them for what the internet hex code is. It's a 6-digit code. So I'm going to click here, super easy, but I can change any color I want to give Miami-Dade colors. And then I can extend the box. It has little draggers here. And there you go. You have your box like I did here. Okay, we're gonna skip all the way down to positioning. So what's really great about Canva is they have this button called position. So say you want to put this in the, say this is a little off center. Let me drag this down. They also have these great lines that teach you like how when something is, that's centered and middle. That's what the colored lines are telling you here. Say if it's a little off kilter, you go to position and you can put it in the middle. If it's completely wonky and you want it in the middle and the center, you can do center, middle. Super, it's really helpful when you're doing things. Same with, I'll screw this up a little so we can teach you all. The same thing with position you can do with these boxes down here. So if you have a series of elements that you want to use, you can click them all together. You can click position. They have a great button called tidy up. Oh, see, this is already a very organized box. I already tidied these up, but it would give me the option to space them vertically so that they're all evenly from the top square to the bottom square, evenly spaced. And same with horizontally, that they're all together in a row. So it's a very helpful tool, positioning, to make sure things are all aligned. Okay, I'm going to do all of my elements at once. So here we have a purple box. And so we at the foundation love kind of lines and boxes. That's very much our aesthetic, but it's up to you how you want to be designing. I think boxes and lines are clean. But depending on your colors and your aesthetic, you can choose what's up for your organization. So we have our purple box there. Another thing about position is we can send this backwards. So say we wanted to make this black, but we wanted the purple lines in front of the black. You can go to position and send it backward. And there you go. You have your purple lines front. Now the purple box is all the way at the top of your design. And so if you want to send it back, you send that to back, and now you have your black box above. But we're going to change this to purple for the purposes of copying. Okay, we have our little party popper. So I would put party, and it's going to show me a ton of different party themed elements for you to choose from. Here we go. And there are party poppers. And if we wanted it, we can make it any color that we wanted. I'm going to make it white. And then another very helpful tool in Canva is you can copy elements. So this box right here is called duplicate. And you can drag it, and those 3 lines are telling me that these are aligned together. And then once it hits that square, it means it is in a perfect square together around. They're evenly spaced around, and they're also equally distant. And so, but we don't want, look, that doesn't look the same because they're both facing to the right. And so what we want to do is we want to flip this, there we go. Y'all faces are hiding me a little bit. So you would go to flip, you could flip it vertically, but we don't want to flip it vertically. We want to flip it horizontally. And there we go. Now we have our party elements. So let me do that. Flipping elements, adding colored elements. And so now that we have our party poppers in place, we don't want any of this to move. So what we're going to do is we're going to lock these elements. We can lock this, and we can drag the entire design, and we can click, there's a little lock button up here. And now none of this, oh, this didn't lock, but that's okay. But none of these will move. Nothing, even if I drag it around. So I can only move, locking is great because if I put any elements on top and they're not locked, I can move just those elements. Very helpful. And so next up is adding text. So you can always, if you have a previous design, Control C, Control V. Very easy to copy text from one design to another. It's very easy to copy designs from one to another. But if you are starting from scratch, you'll go to this text box. And you'll click add a heading. It's not the font that you want to be using. Maybe it will, but you can go to search for fonts. You're going to go to here. It's next to the, you can change the size next to it as well. And Canva has a lot of preloaded fonts for you to use. You also, in your brand kit, as I was mentioning, can also upload a font style for your organization. And so we at the Miami Foundation, our font is Helvetica, and we have all the versions of Helvetica that we've uploaded to our brand kit. And this one is Helvetica New, which tells you right here. And it's 55.5, which is great to know. So I can go here, I can go Helvetica New Medium. I think that's the same one. If not, looks good. And we can go here, we can downgrade it, make it smaller. You can also make it smaller by dragging. And let's get it to 55.5. There we go. I'm not gonna, and then you could type whatever font, but I'm not gonna tape this out. You can copy and paste it. You can copy and paste the text from any document that you're using. And so then we want to make this in the middle. Oh no, we don't. I lied. We don't want it in the middle. We want it in the center, but we want it a little bit higher up, and you can drag it to where you would like it. And then we also have this text right here. So I'm going to duplicate, and I'm going to say donate at givemiamiday.org / and you will have your correct URL for your own organization once you've registered on Give Miami Day. Plug, register on Give Miami Day, so you can get your Give Miami Day page. And so now it's black text, and up here it's white text. So what you're going to do is you can change not only the font, you can not only change the size, but you can also change the color. So we click here, going to make it white. And then also say you wanted to make it all underlined, you can make it all underlined. For several of the Canva fonts that Canva gives you, you can bold and italicize them, but because we have specialty fonts at the foundation, we have our own versions in the fonts that are bold and italicized. If we want to make it all capitalized, you can make it all capitalized, or you can make it all lowercase and capitalized as you wish. You can also do text alignments. So you can do left alignment, you can do center alignment, and you can do middle alignment. These are a little, you can also, note these are locked. Let's space this out a little bit. There you go. And then the last piece of this is adding color logos. So this is kind of a lesson in adding images as well. So in addition to the fonts and the colors of your brand, you can also add brand logos. You can also, so there's an uploads folder on Canva as well, where it's going to keep a record of all of the things that you've uploaded. So you can upload media directly from your desktop. And so these are all of the things that I used in designing recent designs of mine. So I have the Miami Foundation logos here. And you can also, it's very helpful, you can just drag and drop images directly from your desktop. It'll pick up the image and it'll place it, and you can adjust it how you wish. You can make text, so I'm seeing Judith's, another question from Judith. You can make text clickable in, I think, PDFs, but when you're posting on social media, your audience won't be able to click on text. So essentially no, unless you're making it in an interactive document. which is a kind of next level expertise on Canva, which you can look up through Canva. I'm not going to teach it today, but you can definitely find ways to do it through a PDF version. Okay, so how we added the Give Miami Day logo. So I also have a Give Miami Day folder. You can create folders on Canva, which are super helpful also when you're creating very specific project-based work. So I have the Give Miami Day logo here. What you can do is in that campaign resources folder through the Google Drive that you can find on givemiamiday.org in the campaign resources under nonprofits. In these folders, there are design assets images and there are logos in there for Give Miami Day that you can use. And you could just drag it from your desktop, or you can upload it in your uploads folder, or you can create a Give Miami Day folder of your own if you so choose. So there's the Give Miami Day logo. And then here I would also create, and then I can go back to my uploads and I have the Miami Foundation logo, which you can find on miamifoundation.org/logos. And it'll teach you all the guidelines of how to use it as well. So an important note when it comes to the branding guidelines here, I'm going to lock this background. When you have black logos or color logos, it should always go on a white background. And so I didn't add any colored background here. If it were colored, I would be using white white logos. And also if you have a colored background and you need to add white, you can always create an element just like this rectangle. You can copy it and you can make it white to go over the logos if you have a colored background. Always a helpful trick. So we want to, another fun thing is you can group elements together. So because I want to center these elements as a group, I'm going to group them. I'm going to make this, I'm going to size it accurately. I'm going to group them together. Now they're one element together. It's two elements that I combine to make one element, and then I can position it and I can position it center. So now they're together centered. I can also together make them smaller, and I can drag it to make it. And so also these lines, see now this little line right here is showing me that it's center to the donate at Give Miami Day, but I want to make sure it's completely center throughout, and I'll position this and make that center. And there we go. Maybe not exactly the same, but pretty darn close. Okay, I'm gonna check out these questions before I move on to the next one. Are we allowed to? Yes, absolutely, Albert. You're allowed to use the Give Miami Day logo, but use your own organization's colors as you see fit. Please do. That is totally appropriate. When we hope we do, we want to see your organization's personality, and you can use the Give Miami Day color logo on white background, or the Give Miami Day white background. Excuse me, the Give Miami Day color logo on a white background, or the Give Miami Day white logo on a colored background. Go for it. Okay, so this is the Instagram post. I think we covered everything. Ta-da! I love seeing a little checked off checklist. That makes me so happy. Okay, we're gonna move to, so as I said, you can create many different versions of designs in Canva. And so we're gonna move to not Instagram or Facebook, but to Twitter. And so here is a Twitter post that I created for us all. And this is incorporating an image from Seek Foundation. So thank you for Seek Foundation, one of our community grants partners who generously provided a photo for us. And I would highly suggest using photos of your organization in your Give Miami Day post. It really gives the audience a look into your work. And potentially a quote from one of your participants or someone who benefits from the work that you're doing. This, full transparency, I wrote this quote, there is nothing real about this. But it just wanted to show you a really effective way of showcasing your work and attracting folks to Give Miami Day and giving to you. So as I said before, here's what we're going to learn on this one. It's a lot of the same stuff that we learned, but it's just a refresher on a different one. So I'm going to go a little bit quicker this time. I'm seeing some other questions. So the Give Miami Day and Miami Foundation logos are required. They're not required for you to add on your, nothing is required for you to add on your social media posts or your blogs. It is helpful to add a link or a logo that references back to Give Miami Day. I would suggest it as a good way to reference back so that we're building a movement together, right? Give Miami Day is not just organizations in silos, we're Miami together. And so it's nice to have that link to Give Miami Day, but no requirement. And what if your organization color is the same colors, purple, pink, white? Great. Happy to, I love those colors. Use those colors and you can find them and change the colors. Just a reminder here. I'm sure it would look good in pink too. Okay. Thank you for your great questions, people. All right, as I mentioned, this is a new page and this is a little bit more extensive. So as I mentioned, we're going to start with the adding an image. So this is in my uploads folder. As I mentioned, I would click upload media and I could drag it directly from my desktop or somewhere on my computer, but I'm just going to add it from here. What a beautiful picture. We're going to extend it a little bit. So as you extend the image, it's going to crop it. And this is the cropping tool. So I want to make it fit this. And you can draw. So I'm double clicking on this image to move the image within this. So this is how you would just directly add the image onto the Canva doc. What I also suggest doing, I'll create a new page to show you this, is there's this thing called grids and frames and elements, and they're very helpful to keep images in the size that you want them to. Let me see if I have my wreath here. Here we go. So I would search grid. If you search grid in Canva, it'll pop up here. And so you can pre-size how you want this done. I want this here and there. And then I would go to uploads. You're going to drop, or you can drop it from your desktop and then you drag it in and it's going to have it pre-done for you. And you can adjust this frame however you want. And then once if you're done with this photo and you want to create a new design with this and you want it the same size, you can just delete it and you'll have that frame going forward. It's very helpful right on, for example, on this slide, these are all frames and it's very helpful to keep them all the same size and to like position them as well. Okay, so I'm going to use the frame for this, and you can always delete pages if you don't like what you're working on.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. There's a question about the size of the Twitter post, and I think this may be the occasion to show also the resize option for everyone.
Thank you, Jess. That's a really great flag. So the size of a Twitter post, that's good. I don't even remember the sizes by heart anymore because Canva tells me what they are, but this is the perfect, Canva has a preloaded perfect graphic design. So it's 1600 pixels by 900. If you add this to Twitter, it'll look amazing, I promise. And as Jess mentioned, and you can also, there's some cool functions in here as well. You can show rulers if you would like in the file. You can show guides also for kind of measuring. And then as Jess mentioned, there's this resize button. And so you can customize it. So say you are creating a banner and the person that's doing the print production for you has very specific measurements to tell you. You can go into inches, you can go into millimeters and centimeters, and you can click custom size, and you can either make a copy of this entire document. Just so you know, when you resize, you can't just resize one image in this document. You resize all of the images within the document. Or you can just resize it directly. So it would keep me in this document. I suggest copy and resize always, so you keep your original documents in what they were. You can also, I can resize it. Say I want to resize this into an Instagram post. I want to change my Twitter post into an Instagram post. I can click Instagram post, copy and resize. it'll make it a little funky, right? Because going from one size to another, it's not going to directly copy, but it's very helpful because you can resize it and match it the same way. We do this all the time because we like to engage our audiences on all of our formats, whether that's LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. And so we create one image and then make a copy of it and make it match and make it look good on each individual platform. Thank you, Jess, and great question. I also want to mention while we're on this subject, once you're done with an image, you can click here, download. And you can save it as a PNG. You can save it in the size that you want. You can save it with a transparent background should you want. And you can also save in like whichever pages you want from here. So you can save page 1, page 2 of the document, or page 3. I don't think we want my to-do list saved, but this is how you would download it and then post it to the platform that you want. Okay. So I'm trying to match this one as best as I can. So now, since this is a frame, I have to move it this way. If I want to, so actually I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to add it as an image and not as a frame, because with an image, you can make it a little bit more horizontal. There we go, like that. And so you're wondering, how does this become a little shadowed out, right? How does it become a little transparent? There is another really great function called transparency. And so you can make this from nothing to very light to medium light and all the way to full color. There's a gradient that you can add here. I really like this function. Another option to make this more transparent is you can always add an element. So you can add a box over this. Say you want to make it a different color. Say I want to make this a purple box on top of this image, or whatever color your organization uses as well. You go over it, you make it, right, like I said, give Miami-Dade purple. If I wanted it Miami Foundation purple, Miami Foundation blue, Miami Foundation green, I could do it here, but I want to make it, give Miami-Dade purple. And then I can make the transparency very low. And there you go. You have basically the same image, but with a purple color on top of it. I actually kind of like that. So I'm going to leave that for now. We'll have a little bit of a different version on it this time. And so on top of that, we're going to add, just as I mentioned, you can make transparent boxes. On top of that, I'm going to add another transparent box for my quote box. So we go here, you're going to size it to however you want it. Would suggest, right, we don't want this young person's head cut out of this photo. So make sure you're showcasing the photo the best you can. And we're going to make it white. And we're going to make it transparent. Transparent enough that you can see a little bit of the photo behind, but strong enough that you can also have the quote on top. So we're going to add text. We're going to add a subheading because this is a little bit smaller text. We're going to choose the font that we want. And we did it in a italic for the quote to share that it's a quote. We're going to make it definitely smaller, 21.2. And I'm not going to rewrite this. I wrote the quote beforehand. And then we're going to resize this box to how it was. And it's always great. Love having a quote. And so I have this quote. I have the quote itself centered, so you can align the text differently. And I have this portion of it left aligned, or excuse me, right aligned. There you go. You got your quote, and we can make it purple font. You want to make sure your entire, see, it says multiple fonts here. You want to make sure. So some of this says it's a Remo, which I'm not sure why, but I'm going to make it all one font. And I can make it all purple, should I want. It's a lot of purple on purple. I liked it with black, but we also can take this off. And there we go. Boom. The quote there. You can also, I forgot to show you all, but you can not only, you can make it a bullet point if you want to make bullet lists, very great for slides. You can make it here. You can also make it a number, or you can make it nothing. You can also change the line spacing and the letter spacing. So if I want to increase the space between letters, that's letter spacing. And if I want to create, change the length between the lines of the paragraph, you do line spacing. So I can make it a lot of lines, or I can make it a little bit tighter, which helps a lot with space, which is why I think this looks even closer to the one above. Okay. Secondly, this is a white. So you can also drag. I'm going to group these together, and because I'm feeling like I want to save us some time, I'm going to just copy and paste the text. And so if you duplicate it, you can also drag the text down here to our new design. As I mentioned before, if you wanted to create new text, you can just go over here to the text and add a heading. Okay. Secondly, we want to add a purple box here, just like we've done before. And we're going to go here. We're going to make this purple. We're going to add a black box on top of it. So we go to elements and add another black box. And it's always good to put the link that you want people to go to on your social media images. You always want to be adding information where people can go to donate, or relevant information for your donors. This is the black box. And we want it centered to just this side. So this pink line that it's showing me is telling me this is centered amongst this purple box, which is exactly what I want. I don't want it, if I was going to center it amongst the entire image, I could click center. If I wanted middle, that's the middle and center of the image. If when you're doing centering within an individual element, then you're going to have to use the purple boxes in your purple lines in your eye. So this is telling me this is centered amongst not only the text, but also the purple box, or that's the purple box, excuse me. This is not quite centered. There we go. Now everything is centered together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ungroup this, because that was two elements. I'm going to duplicate. And I'm going to add this on top. That's centered amongst everything. Perfectly centered. I love when all the purple lines show up. It tells me I'm doing something right. And then when you see, so the text doesn't fit into this. You can make a cool element by adding another box on top if you wanted to. But I'm going to drag it so that this covers all of it. I want it to say donate, and you're going to add whatever specific link you're getting. So if we were fundraising, it would be at the TMF, whatever slug you get. And then we want to make sure that there's enough space on all around the corner so that it doesn't look cramped. And you can also use the arrows on your keyboard as well. Okay. And then an important lesson that we learned, right? When it's on a colored background, we're going to add white logos. And so as you can find in the campaign resources on the Give Miami-Dade website, You also can go, I have it in my folder already. You can also drag it and save it on your desktop, but I have the Give Miami-Dade logo in white. So I'm going to click on that and add it here. It's on the right. Nope, we have the Miami. And you would add your logo with the Give Miami-Dade logo. I'm only adding the Miami Foundation's logo because I'm pretending that this is us fundraising on Give Miami-Dade for the purposes of this training. And then I would go to my uploads. You also can add logos here for your organization. And I have the Miami Foundation logo in white as well. And you want to make sure these are roughly the same size. We want to make sure that there's enough space because I'm gonna, so I don't want, if I go like this, that's picking up the purple box behind it. So the way to not, if I want to move all of this, it's going to move the purple box with it. If I don't want to move the purple box with it, I'm going to lock this. So now that element is stationary. I'm going to group these and I'm going to center it with all my other elements, which is that pink line. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add these fun lines here. Lines are great to divide sections. And so that's an element. And there's a line here. So what you're going to do is you're going to shorten it. And you can also make it, it tells you the angles as you go. So I want this as a straight line. So I'm going to keep it at 0. I can rotate this. I want it vertically. So I'm going to rotate it vertically to 90 degrees. Ooh, perfect. And since when it's on a white background, I want this to be, just realize this a little not over the edge. I want this to be purple when it's on top of the white background. So I made it purple. There we go. And I want to duplicate it. I want to make it white when it's on the purple background. And you want to make sure that this, you can also put plus, you can zoom in and you can make sure they're over each other. There we go. And it gives you all those pink lines when it's happy. And then you go here and you're going to go to white. And there you go. And you can change the line. You can add endings to the lines. So I could add, if I wanted an arrow at the end, I don't want any of those. You can change the thickness. So I want this to be a square line, not a circle line like it is now. And you can change the thickness. So it can be a really thick line or a really thin line. And I think these were 5. And there we go. Maybe not perfect, but pretty darn close. And that's, I think we checked off all of them. Walking, positioning. And so that's the walkthrough of it all. And now, any questions? I think we answered them throughout. I see there's one. Is there a reason why some elements go past the boundaries of the image? So at any element that goes outside the boundaries of your image will be hidden. If I drag this off, it would be hidden off of it. And if it's saved, it wouldn't show you those elements. So you want to make sure everything stays within the boundaries of it. There's sometimes a design purpose. If say you wanted trees that were coming half into the image, there are design things that you can do to leverage having half of the image outside of it. But for the most part, I would make sure you keep, I mean, it's helpful when you're doing images, right? Like this, I can drag it off of it. Just to keep it that way, but it won't show this, the rest of this image off of this page will not show. Okay, any other questions? Okay, I see them coming in. He shows the quickest and easiest way to upload the images from the Give Miami-Dade website to Canva. Sure. So I would go here. Remember, how you get to this is you go nonprofits, you go campaign resources, and then you click here, you'll get to this Google Drive. Excuse me if my computer is a little slow. The logos. Let's see if I have the logos on my desktop. I think I do. My messy folders and my headshots. So for example, I have the I don't know if I do have the Give Miami Day logo here, but here, I'll just use the Miami Foundation logo as an example. You would go here to digital. PNG or JPEG.
While you're downloading that, Nikki, can you explain the difference between a JPEG and a PNG?
Certainly, they're two different, thank you, Ruth. There are two different versions of a file. PNG tends to be more design friendly, specifically Canva friendly. JPEG is more Photoshop oriented and more high resolution. It has more pixels. So it's a little bit heavier of an image when you're using it. It's a little bit more clunky to use. So I would suggest using JPEGs. When you get into TIFFs and higher up stuff, that's really heavy design work. But for the most part, you should be able to use a JPEG or a PNG pretty interchangeably, but we use PNGs mostly. And you know what? It's great that I didn't have the Give Miami Day logo on my desktop because I can now just download it and now I'll have it for myself. I can't tell which one's the color one or not. Oh, here we go. There you go. And you can click, if you click on it, you can click download in the corner. So that's going to end up on my desktop, I hope. There we go. Right there, showed up on my desktop. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to uploads. So what I could do, and you all can't see my full screen, you can only see my internet browser. But what I'm doing is on my desktop, I'm dragging that image into my uploads folder. I'm dragging it even onto the image itself. And now give it a second to upload because there are 106 people watching me as I share my screen. It's a little nervous, so it's going a little slow. And there you go. You have the logo on the image and you can play around with it. You can resize it. But remember, this is a color logo, so it has to go on a white background for it to look good. It will not look good on top of purple. That drowns out the logo, and we want to make sure all of our assets are looking beautiful. Okay, good question though. Any other questions?
I think we have two, one in the chat. Did you say it is best to use PNGs?
Yes, best to use PNGs.
And PNGs also come with transparent backgrounds. So if you want to have the logo, for example, for Give Miami Day, and you want to put it on top of the purple background, you can do it just like it looks like in this image here, where the Give Miami Day doesn't have a box around it. Exactly. So your logo should have a transparent background. You really want to spruce up your designs.
Exactly. Yeah. As you can see here, this logo, it has a transparent background. So I think it looks quite nice on top of it, maybe in this corner. If it was a little bit more transparent, a little more white, we can make this 15, even better. But yes, we have transparent backgrounds in that folder for you all. Alrighty. I don't think there are any other questions. I just wanted to say thank you all. I'm wishing you the best. I'm excited to see all of the images you create for Give Miami Day. I want you to know that our team, Josh, Sam, and I are here for any questions that you have. We want to make sure you're having the best communications campaign, the most successful Give Miami Day this year. And we know that starts with outreaching to your audiences and making it pretty. So if you want to reach out to any of us, send us an email at givemiamiday@miamifoundation.org, and someone will shoot it our way and we'll get back to you. We're always available.
Most definitely. And again, if you all have any other questions, make sure you email us there or book that time. I too can help you with marketing strategies and Canva designs if you have any of those. So book a 20-minute office meeting with me on Fridays. And make sure to join us next week for our August 24th training on board engagement, getting your leaders involved. We want to make sure that you know how to communicate, what resources to share with your board members, how to get them engaged, and how to get them becoming your champions and your biggest ambassadors for your mission. Where can I find upcoming events? Okay, that is actually going to be in the nonprofits tab. So if you guys go to your givemiamiday.org, that nonprofits tab is going to be your best friend. That is everything that you should be able to access for Give Miami Day campaign this year. There you'll find nonprofit FAQs, you'll find
I think Ruth may have froze.
this year, and you can register for those in advance.
Great.
And we also have one coming up on September 28th, which is going to be our second comms training on digital strategies, converting your fans to donors. And that is going to be led by Jessica Cohen in partnership with Philanthropy Miami. Yes, we're going to have a really cool training on how to bring all of these things together to make compelling messaging. So you've learned how to create design. You'll also then now learn how to set up a cadence for posting and how many emails to send out and what kind of messaging do you really want to communicate with your audiences, as well as figuring out who your appropriate audience is. So please sign up for those and let us know that you're going to be joining. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.